Hello, everyone, and welcome to another day here at the Damage Report. I'm John Arola. Good morning, Dragon Squad. I know that many of you have probably been awake for literally hours at this point. Certainly I have, but thank you for being here for the pre-show, and especially thank you those of you who've already hit the like button. Much appreciated. Janet, here's a shout out for you. How's it going? Today is Wednesday. Those are our big news Wednesdays. It is such a big news day. We've got a J block on the show. It's ridiculous. We've got so much that in the end I had to take a few things out of Meanwhile In. Yes, this is one of the rare two Meanwhile Ins in 1 week. There's just a lot going on that I want to let you know about. And if we can get through everything on the show today, the last story we have prepared is bonkers. It's bananas. And the only way I could get my producers to agree to let me do it is to put it literally last on the rundown. So JR and I are going to try to get through everything. There's so much we've got elections, and we've got Supreme Court decisions. We got Ken Klippenstein's latest. We got racism. We got people who hate dogs. We got people who love dogs. We got so much that's going on. But I really hope that we can get to that last story because it's a lot of fun. Rob says in the super chat, did you see the Karen movie trailer? I tagged you on Twitter on it. It's from BET, and those folks don't know the meaning of subtlety. So yes, I did watch it. I kept expecting the trailer to at least get not good, but like interesting. Like obviously they're going for the Jordan Peele thing, but like, there's always like a turn. But there was no turn. It was just it looked like an SNL like version of it. I don't know, maybe it'll end up being good. Trailers aren't necessarily the movie, but I don't know. I was not a big fan of that trailer. Good morning, everyone. Looks like a lot of people excited for some Ken Klippenstein. Well, Ken is not joining the show today. Hopefully in the near future once again. He's been on recently. Search his name on our channel. But we do have some of his work from The Intercept that we will be talking about. So that's awesome. Now, please hit the like button if you haven't already. Like I said, we are going to move into quite a bit of news. So let's start off with perhaps the least surprising stuff, and that is that the Republicans did block the voting rights bill and have been giving just the most annoying, trolly speeches about it. So they blocked it. They're going to block it, of course. We knew that that would happen. So this is going according to plan. But whose plan? Is it going to Manchin's plan and Sinema's plan? Is it going to Bernie's plan? As of right now, nothing has fundamentally changed that would allow this or any other voting rights bill to actually pass, because the filibuster still exists, and there are not going to be enough Republicans signing on. Sorry for that. Need to have more coffee. And so we're still just waiting to see that. Like the fact that Joe Manchin voted to proceed to debate, first of all, does not mean that he was going to vote for the bill. He says that he would not. It doesn't mean that he's changed his position on the filibuster. So we are still very much waiting for that. Okay, sorry, I'm getting a note. 1 second. Anyway, I wanted to remind you that the monthly Q&A, I believe, is coming up tomorrow, fairly certain. So we've got that for you if you're a Tier 3 member. We hang out, we talk. Maybe I'll give a little bit of update on the book progress. I've been making good progress on the editing there. My new Anna Kasparian-inspired hobby has been proceeding very well, so maybe I'll have a little bit on that. But anyway, Carolina says, so happy to be watching. I was in jury duty for the last week and a half and had no idea what was going on in the news world. Not a lot that's great, but there is good news today. Some of the election news from yesterday is quite exciting. So I'm pretty excited for our first story, actually. So anyway, yeah, the GOP blocking it, like, yeah, they're going to do it. The Ted Cruz video is absolutely horrendous. We might play some of it tomorrow. I don't know. But we're just going to have to see. Are these public pressure campaigns against people like Manchin, Sinema gonna have any success? I don't know. And meanwhile, while we're waiting to find out about that, more nonsense is going on around the country, including the legislation in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis has already signed it. That's doing this survey. It's taxpayer funded, it is requiring colleges and universities that receive taxpayer money to issue a survey to determine, quote, the extent to which competing ideas and perspectives are presented on campus, and whether students, faculty, and staff feel free to express their beliefs and viewpoints. DeSantis says, it used to be a thought that a university campus was a place where you'd be exposed to a lot of different ideas. Unfortunately, now the norm is these are more intellectually repressive environments. You have orthodoxies that are promoted and other viewpoints are shunned or even suppressed. So he knows full well what you're already thinking, which is he's talking about how they've become places where non-sanctioned viewpoints are shunned or even suppressed after he literally fucking banned the teaching about racism. So, and he knows that. Like, we get to acknowledge that and just hope that the country does the right thing, but they literally ban talking about concepts like racism and then say they need to look into these colleges to see whether they're suppressing politically incorrect viewpoints. And so they're going to be expecting people, the schools are going to be required to get students and faculty to detail their ideology and give conservatives on campus a chance to bitch about how there's not enough conservatives or whatever, regardless of whether there is or not, because of course they've been trained to feel like victims literally anywhere they are. And so what is this for? God only fucking knows. So what do you think Ron DeSantis and Florida Republicans are going to do if and when enough whiny conservatives say that they're, like on Facebook, like they do, like that they're being discriminated against on these campuses? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to use that as an excuse, as a rationale for follow-up legislation, for cutting funding to these schools. They have no interest in any of this. They don't want taxpayer money going to it. And here is an excuse that they will probably try to use to cut that. So that's fun. Florida, what a state. Where's Bugs Bunny with a big handsaw when you need him? Okay, let's see. Let's do the time warp again. Caffeine Dragon says, Buffalo, New York just had a progressive socialist with the Dem mayoral primary. Her name is India Walton. I can't wait to see what she does for the city. Oh, Caffeine Dragon. I know. I don't need that out of you. What I need out of you is caffeine. I do need that. But no, we're going to be talking about India Walton. Don't you worry about that. AKA Cower with Crowder. I saw he put out like a video that he said was going to like set the record straight. It was just the video of him running away again. I guess it does set the record straight. I don't think in the way that he intended. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put on the rundown. I do want to at least briefly mention this because on yesterday's pre-show, I talked about debates and how, look, on the one hand, I think that the Sam Cedar thing is very funny. On the other hand, I think that these debates are largely pointless, except as, you know, things to get your brand out there and get people excited about you or whatever. But that said, I do feel like if you're going to make your brand that you'll debate people, you should do it, probably. So there was this article in the Daily Wire that maybe you've seen, which is the Sam Cedar, Steven Crowder thing proves that we shouldn't engage with the debate bros. And I saw that headline at first and thought, oh, so they get it. There's no point in engaging with debate bros like Steven Crowder because they don't even mean what they say about their desire to debate, let alone any other politics, any substance or anything. They're not even really that interested in debating. They are interested in ambushing kids or whatever. That's not what the headline was about, though. They were saying Sam is a debate bro, and Crowder, who's a serious person, shouldn't waste his time on him. But, like, the nicest possible description of Crowder would be debate bro. There's a lot of worse ones. That's the nicest one. It's a dude that pretends that he will debate anyone, anywhere. Change my mind. He ambushes kids on campus. That was like his whole thing, was that he would run up on some kid that's like trying to get from one class to the next on campus and like yell at him about the Bay of Pigs or something. I don't know. So look at what a retreat from the right that Sam has, like, at least for this one author, indicates, okay, so I guess we got to stop pretending that we're like interested in debate and that we're logical gladiators or whatever. Just if you don't want to debate, I'm right there with you. It's mostly a waste of fucking time. But that said, if you're going to do it, at least do it. So Sam didn't get the opportunity to expose him on a bunch of issues because Crowder wouldn't debate him, but he did expose sort of a foundational issue on the right, which is they may not be the alpha male big guy debaters they would want you to believe that they are. Okay. The progressive linguist just became a tier 3 member, getting access to the top, to the top 10s as well, but also the live Q&A. So progressive linguist, I look forward to hopefully talking to you a little bit later on. Prepare some questions, some things you'd like to hear about, and we'll be talking. John's head is starting to get head muscles. I think it's just regular head. I don't. What? Maureen Fallon says he interviews experts, authors, etc. I assume talking there about Sam. Exactly. They're not the same person. And actually, like, it's one of the reasons I'm not that interested in them actually debating. It's because it's not. It is lowering yourself. I understand Sam wants to do it, and he's free to do whatever he wants. He's been doing this forever. He can do whatever he wants. He doesn't owe anybody anything. But that said, it's like Crowder's not a serious person. He's just really not. Anyway, Chase Essex says, "Hey, Dragon Daddy, my 34th birthday was yesterday. Nobody showed up, so I drank my sorrows away. What's your go-to hangover cure?" Well, happy birthday. Sorry to hear that. It is the pandemic, though, so bear that in mind. Hangover cure? I mean, definitely a lot of water, a little bit of ibuprofen, and just eating whatever my body craves at that point, which is never anything healthy. But I figure it probably has a reason for its cravings. There's probably something in there that it needs. Wayne Cigar says, "Cats at 10th place. Any Loki thoughts? I'm liking it a lot." Yeah, cats were, unfortunately, number 10 on my top 10 animals list. Thoughts on Loki? So I've only watched the first episode and 2/3. My wife and I both fell asleep while watching the end. We came to for the very end of it. We're gonna keep watching it. It so far hasn't super hooked me, but I'm definitely going to watch it. It's good. It's good. Okay, let's see. JNL says, John Oliver was on Wendy. They did discuss food again. I won't spoil it, though. Did you know Oliver is into the Housewives franchise big time? I'm not, but it surprised me who watches these shows. Crazy. He has definitely joked about it on the show before. Florida Dragon says, have you seen Nikki Reed running for governor of Florida? I believe she claims to be progressive. Any thoughts or info? No, I have not. I need to. It's a lot of elections, and it takes me quite a while to get like totally up to speed in it. Even India Walton, that isn't an election that I've been closely following. Ray Turner says, happy hump day, Dragon Daddy. Get caffeinated. I'm going to have to. I'm going to have caffeinated coffee for the show. Normally by then it's decaf, but not this time. Okay, time is unfortunately wasting. So let's get back into the news. The GOP investigation into Michigan's election, the November election, has finally come out with its report. There was no issues. There were some vulnerabilities that the legislature should look into or whatever, but there was no voter fraud. It didn't throw the election or whatever. And so you won't hear anything more about this, I guess. How's it going, J.R. Jackson? What's up? I'm on the pre-show.
I figured.
What's up?
Can I have some?
You can, but the pre-show's on. What's up?
I just want to come and say what's up. That's all.
JR says, what's up, everybody? JR is going to be in another room in the building. Kenny from Philly says, JR!
Kenny from Philly. I know that guy.
So a lot of people saying hi to JR now. So he's going to be in another room in the building for the first time. It's almost like we're at the desk again. But anyway, so Michigan didn't find any voter fraud, so they're just going to move on. Well, they'll probably lie and say that they did. Like, they don't care what's in the actual goddamn report. But now here is the good news, though. Poll was done. Monmouth University asked respondents whether they thought that these audits that are happening of the election are legitimate efforts to identify potential voting irregularities or partisan efforts to undermine valid election results. And it seems like we're winning. 57% say that they are meant to they're meant that they're partisan. They're just meant to make you question the validity. They're not actually looking for any voter fraud, and they're not going to find any. 1/3, that 33%, which that does come up quite a bit, the 33%, doesn't it, for the Trump stuff, felt that the audits were legitimate actions intended to flush out supposed voter or election fraud. And look, some of them probably believe that, but a significant chunk of that 1/3 are lying. In the same way that the audits aren't true, those responses aren't true, and they don't care. They're not interested in it. So look, We've been trying to make that point for months, even in the run-up to the election, that they're going to lie about the results. And it looks like we're definitely... oh, there's one other result I want to talk about. It looks like we're winning that argument, thankfully. It doesn't matter so long as Republicans control enough states that they can actually pass legislation based on these fucking lies. But, yeah. Let's see. On whether voter fraud was a widespread issue, 37% said it was a major problem. 50% said that disenfranchising voters basically was a major problem instead. So again, we are winning on that issue. Around 1/3 of the country has bought into the lies. The joke is on us, though, because they're still in charge of a number of states. So democracy, yay, it's the best. Isn't it fun? Anyway. Okay, let's see. Jared's Dread Dragon. He is... I wonder what the connection is going to be like with him being here. I mean, we both have to go through Skype to someone who is not here, so I'm not sure it'll be better, but we'll see. Damn, I need some coffee. It is tough. I stayed up kind of on the latest side yesterday. We were watching The Serpent. My wife and I have finished watching Peaky Blinders. We're all caught up on that. So now we're watching The Serpent. We watch a lot of... I didn't used to watch hour-long dramas like this, but the changing situation of my media habits probably precipitated by the pandemic, I would assume. There's more time to fill. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into some COVID stuff. I've got bad news, I've got kind of funny news, and then I've got kind of scary news after that. So the bad news is... records show that under Trump, during the pandemic, about 900 Secret Service agents got COVID. That is amazing. Isn't that amazing? Like, they had to protect Trump, they had to protect Pence, they had to protect other senior members of the administration, their family members, and what those people were doing was fundamentally dangerous and irresponsible, and so close to 1,000 Secret Service members got sick. Now, some were going to get sick. There was COVID everywhere. But it didn't need to be nearly as much of that. Back the blue. Law enforcement, yeah, they're ready to take a bullet for the president. And he doesn't give a fuck about them. He doesn't care at all. Anyway, if you want more details about that, it's available at citizensforethics.org. They have a lot more information about it. I mean, the worst instance, you remember when Trump inevitably got COVID, and then he made them drive him around so he could wave at people of his supporters? He was riddled with COVID, and he was forcing them to drive him around. Anyway, so that's the bad news. The funny news, a little bit, is that in a book that's coming out, Nightmare Scenario, inside the Trump administration's response to the pandemic that changed history. So we're getting more of those leaks from that Washington Post report. Trump apparently had said at one point, let's see, Larry Kudlow had stifled a cough. The room had frozen. Trump had waved his hands in front of his face as if to jokingly ward off any flying virus particles, and then cracked a smile. I was just kidding. Larry will never get COVID. He will defeat it with his optimism. John Bolton... Hopefully COVID takes out John. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not gonna, that's like literally there's whole headlines about the fact that he thought that it would be funny if John Bolton died of COVID. Now, is that acceptable? Look, you shouldn't joke about people dying of COVID because, of course, many people did die of COVID. Many people have family members and friends who died of COVID. You know, I have a family member who died of COVID. That said, like, of all of the things that Trump has done, I don't particularly care. But I will say this. You can't get that mad at people who joked about Trump then. If he's doing it. If he thinks it's funny to make a joke about someone that he hired and then got rid of dying, well... Okay, I mean, Trump did worse stuff to the United States than John Bolton did to Trump, at the very least. John Bolton has also done really bad stuff to the United States. But in regards to what he's done to Trump, I don't particularly think so. By the way, I see someone's asking about deaths. That is not disclosed in the report that I'm seeing. So you don't know who. There's privacy stuff, so you can't know who they were assigned to protect, when they tested positive. Like, there's a lot of information that is being blocked. The sheer number is basically the extent of the information that we have. So anyway, yeah, I don't particularly care about that. But there is something related to the pandemic that we do need to talk about, and that is, did Trump get vaccinated? We've all sort of no, Sophie, no. I'm doing this last story, and then I'll be done in a couple minutes. Did Trump get vaccinated? We've all sort of taken it for granted because he said that he did. Not so easy a question to answer if you're a Trump fan. And so that's the jumping ship thing. They trust Trump implicitly about virtually every topic, but they found something that they don't trust him. And understand, by the way, this is not the same as if Trump told me to wear a mask, would I? And many say that they would not. We've talked about that previously, that line that they won't cross for Trump. Or if Trump tells them to get vaccinated. So the 20% of Republicans, 29% of Trump voters say they will not get vaccinated. If Trump tells them to, will they? 6 to 7% say they would change their minds. So a lot would not. This is not that. This is not, if Trump tells me to do a thing, will I? This is, do I believe what Trump is telling me? Which generally, they have more faith in the insane, ever-changing nonsense that Trump says to them than virtually anybody does about anybody. But they don't necessarily believe him. So when you ask them, do you believe that he was vaccinated? 44% of GOP voters, according to an Economist YouGov poll, say they either aren't sure or don't believe that he was vaccinated, even though he has said many times that he has. So they believe that he has repeatedly gone on Fox News and lied to them about it. Something as important as vaccination, which they consider to be like the biggest commie plot in their lifetime, they think Trump not just got it and was unwise to get it. They think he lied about getting it and wants them to get it. Because he's telling them to get it, but they don't think he did. They think he lied. He said, no, not for me, but you should get it. Now, apparently, they remain Trump supporters. I don't know, like, if this was the twisted, worm-riddled remnants of your brain that you had, if you believed all of this, why you would stay a follower of him. If you think he lied about getting something that's probably deadly, but wants you to get it anyway, wants your family to get it anyway, if you think he lied about that, why would you support him? And I don't know, maybe for some of them it will start to wear away at their support. But for now, this is the biggest divide I have seen between something that Trump has said repeatedly and their evaluation of it. And it potentially opens up some sort of path for someone like a Ron DeSantis potentially, or a Tucker Carlson. Because bear in mind, I've never seen Ron DeSantis talk about whether he's vaccinated. It's possible that he did. I don't rule that out. But Tucker Carlson refuses to answer. Tucker Carlson is more pure in this way than Trump is, because Tucker Carlson has never told you to vaccinate. He's never said that he has, even though he definitely 100% has. He's 100% vaccinated. He was probably one of the earliest people in this country to be vaccinated. But he has avoided telling the audience that, because he apparently gets their insanity, what they want, better than Trump does. And in grift, there is only one talent you need to have, which is being able to look out there and say, what do these people want to be told? And what do they not want to be told? And Tucker Carlson is a better grifter than even Donald Trump. Okay, I really wish that we could go on about this. There is more that I want to say, but we are unfortunately running out of time. It's Big News Wednesday. It waits for no host. So I'm going to go get ready for that. But in about 15 minutes, Jared Jackson is going to be joining me. So you can watch here. You can go to twitch.tv/TYT. Reminder, tomorrow is our Tier 3 live Q&A for Tier 3 members on YouTube. So we can hang out. We can talk a little bit. Should be a lot of fun. So feel free to sign up or upgrade your membership if you'd like to be a part of that. But either way, more coming in just a little bit.